So we are going to do notes today on finding the slope. Also on different ways to calculate the slope. Alright, so we're going to do different ways of finding that. Now, when you are dealing with an equation, y equals mx plus b, which you guys have seen, which one is the slope? Is it the y, the m, the x, or the b? It's the m. So we call that the slope. And when we call the slope, we're usually talking about how it looks on a graph, like one of these. If we also call it the rate of change, that's what we refer to it in a word problem, the rate of change. And I also like to call it the over and over number, because in a situation, it's the number that's happening over and over. All right, let's take a look at this. You don't have a copy of this, but after we go through the notes and you start your assignment, I'm going to put this back up. And if you want to walk up sometime before you leave and take a picture, you can. It'll also be online. So, a line with a positive slope. What does it look like? I always like to say, pretend you're playing one of those old school video games. That's a side scroller. Do you know what a side scroller is? Yeah. You're going from left to right. When you're going from left to right, a positive slope is uphill. You always read it from left to right. Okay, you don't read it this way because that looks downhill, but we don't read it from right to left. We read it from left to right, and this is uphill. Any line that's going uphill is a positive slope. Make sense? Okay, so the slope, how would you find that? When it's going uphill, you count your rise over run. Do you guys remember that from last year? Okay, and we also remember that Roy D, the top cow, is always on top. That's the Y, and then Dixie's the bottom cow. Remember that? So we do the Y's first, we count up, and then we count over. So up 2, over 3. The slope of this would be 2 over 3. Does that make sense? And it's positive because it's going uphill. Now this guy here is going downhill. I look at it left to right, it's going downhill. So this is a negative slope. I'm going to have a negative out front. It's going down how many? Remember, I always do my up-down first because Roy D is the top number. That's the Y value. That's the up-down number. Negative 2, and then 3 to the right. So negative 2 over 3 would be that slope. Okay? I'm going through these fast because you don't have it. We're just going through it kind of as to get us started, and we'll be doing more of these in a minute. Okay, now these are special cases, and you do have a couple, at least one of each of these on your homework. Okay. This is not going uphill. It's not going downhill. It's just like a flat, boring sidewalk. It's just like you're walking across the street. There's no slope at all. Actually, there is a slope. What do we call the slope? 0. Okay, it's not uphill. It's not downhill. It's right at 0. So that is a horizontal line. Okay? The rate of change is still, it's not going up, but it is going over. So it goes up 0 or down 0, and then it goes over 1. So up 0 over 1, up 0 over 1, you get a fraction of 0 over 1. And when you divide that out, you get 0. Okay, our last one, which is another special case, this is called an undefined slope, or in some instances you might hear it called a no slope. Okay, it's a straight up and down vertical line. Okay, and the slope is undefined because when I find my change in x, x is not changing. X is always 2 in this case. So my change in x is 0, and you can't divide by 0. Did you guys remember that from previous years? Teachers would try to drill it into your head that you can't divide by 0. Well, the cool thing is, with these cases here, if you don't remember that, and you put it in the calculator is going to remind you. If I put 2 divided by 0 in the calculator, it actually tells me UNDEF, which is just an abbreviation for undefined. So this is an undefined slope, and it's even telling you that. So as long as you put it in the calculator correctly, it's going to remind you it's undefined. When you see that, it doesn't mean you made a mistake. It means it's just a straight up and down vertical line. Whereas if I put in this one, like 0 divided by 3, That's just going to give me 0, and the slope of that one is 0. So remember, if you have a slope of 0, it's a horizontal line straight across. If you have an undefined slope, it's a vertical line. All right, we good on that?